Welcome everyone. In this short video, I will demonstrate Google Jamboard, one of the Google Workspace for Education apps. I have found Google Jamboard to be a fantastic tool for educators at all grade levels and can be used in a virtual teaching environment or a face-to-face environment. So before I get into showing some examples or uses of Google Jamboard, I'm just going to demonstrate how simple and easy it is to access or open up a Google Jamboard. So you can do this from Google Classroom as well, straight from Google Classroom, but I'm going to just show starting off just from your Google homepage. Make sure you're signed into your education account. In this case, I'm not using my own account, but it's going to be the exact same methods. So looking at your Google home page, you're going to see what looks like a little waffle up here. People call it different things. I call it the waffle. Google Apps, select the Google Apps, and you're going to scroll down to Jamboard. So scrolling down through there, there's my Jamboard. Going to click on that, and what it does is it opens up to a list of all your existing Jamboards. And as you can see here, I have lots of Jamboards. Some of them are not mine. Some of them are mine. In order to sort through those Jamboards, I would go up to my menu here and I can select owned by anyone, owned by me, or not owned by me. Typically, I'm going to go to the owned by me, and that's going to highlight all the Jamboards that I actually have created, and they are owned by me. Now to start a new Jamboard, we're going to click on the nice colorful plus button down here, new Jam, and that's going to open up a brand new slate, clean slate of a Jamboard, and I'll quickly go through some of the tools on here. As I mentioned before, there's not that many tools, which kind of makes it kind of simple. One of the first things I like to do is I like to give my Jamboard a name. So up where it says Untitled Jam, I'm just going to click on that and I'm going to rename that, give it a new name. Otherwise, I forget that. I ended up with a bunch of Jamboards that are called Untitled. So now we have some options here for customizing the background. I can set my background so I can select some colors on here. I can actually add an image. So what the background does is it makes it fixed, so you cannot edit it. So if you're sharing it or you're working on it, it's not going to modify that. If you just put an image in the background and scale it up, that it becomes an item within the Jamboard. And sometimes when you're going to make some modifications to Jamboard entities, your background's going to shift around. So if you want, say, a grid pattern, or you want to customize your background, which I do all the time, you're going to create an image and you're going to add it. You're just going to click on that, and now you can upload it from your Drive. You can, from your Google Images, a link, Google Photos, etc. So you have lots of options there for customizing your background. On the top menu here, we have some options for adding or deleting pages. So if I expand this down, you're going to see I have one of one. That means I only have one page on my Jamboard. If I expand that, you will see that one page. And if there was content on there, you would see it. Make it nice and easy to move around your Jamboards. If I want to create a frame within a Jamboard, I can just click the plus, and that will create an additional frame. Very easy to do. And we do have some options by clicking on the three dots here. So we can duplicate that or delete it. But to continue working, we want to close that off. I'm just going to delete this one for now and close that off. So a quick, simple run through of the tools available. And here we have a pen tool. So if you expand your pen tool there, select that. We have some colors. We can select pen, marker, highlighter, or a paintbrush, and we can select whatever color that we want to write with. We have our eraser tool, so we can erase items as well too. This is a move tool, so when you add items to your Jamboard, you can select that move tool and move those around the Jamboard. We also have the sticky note, so if we click on the sticky note, we can add a color on here and put your text in here and select that color and save. And now we have this item here that we can move around. We can stretch that and make modifications to that. We have an add image tool, very similar to the background, so we can add images in a similar way. And we also have a shapes tool. This is a circle right now, but if we expand that, we have different shapes that we can add to that as well too. So creating a simple square, done, and we can make modifications to that. We could delete that just by hitting the delete key. Once again, we can move that around. Then we have a laser pointer, which I use quite a bit in lessons. If I have a Jamboard up, it really marks something up quickly, but it erases it. So if I wanted to point to, say, this sample, I could circle that so it's visible what I'm talking about, and then it disappears quickly. So those are the quick tools. Again, there's not too many, but that kind of makes it simple. I'm just going to go through and explain a few different ways that I use Google Jamboard. One of the first things I used at the beginning of the semester, making class connections, I have created this Jamboard, and I've created this template using some other tools. If I cannot select any of these images because they are set as my background, but the text in here is created inside Jamboard, so I can change that at any time. So I do have multiple frames on here. You'll see if I go through these, I have put different questions on there, and now all the students can contribute collectively or simultaneously, and they would just go and use their post-it command and type something in here and add that. And once students are all done, we can quickly go through that. So I've created lots of different frames, different questions, so it is customizable. Another example of this would be, would you rather? You may have seen these before. Same thing. I've created the customized background, but again, multiple frames on here. So we have lots of different options, and I can change this text as well too. So kind of kept the default, the background, but it is interchangeable. And the one thing I would recommend when you are using these, rename this. You will see this. I have template. So that I will just make a copy of that. When I want to use it for a class, simply I would go up to the three dots here, and I'm going to select make a copy. And that's the one I'm going to share with my classroom. So I always have my default one. It does not get rearranged or modified. Another simple one would be a caption this. Same type of idea. Students can go and post caption this, kind of a popular meme creating type of item. And these are all great for class engagement. I do like to use these for lesson plans as well too. So a simple one would be teaching the imperial scale. So we have a scale over here. This is my background. Again, I can use my pen and I can write on the frame here just using my pen, and I could go through and give a tutorial. Now this is great for, it's very similar to a whiteboard, so you can use it virtually. And you can also use it in class and treating it exactly the same as a whiteboard. And once that gets filled up, we could just click on here and we could actually duplicate a frame. One of the most effective tools I use a Jamboard for is quick responses to students. So if you're in a class and a student wants to show you their work, you can have them just email you a quick picture of their work. So if a student had sent you something similar to this, I would use my standard Windows snipping tool. Click a new image there, and I would just edit, copy, and then we can go back to our Jamboard and we can Control V and paste that image in there. So once that image is in there, we can use that as a reference tool. And in the end, after going through that with a student, you might end up with something like this. So this is a fabulous tool. Can also be used in the classroom as well too. Lastly, just showing through the Google Meet, if you wanted to create a Jamboard, once you're inside a Meet, if you select activities down here and then select whiteboarding, what that's going to do is start a new whiteboard. It's going to open up a new Jamboard in the class that is visible to all the students. Now, one of the best things about this is you can share this. I can actually download this as a PDF, save it as an image, or you can collect your share and you can actually just share that with all your students. I know the video has been long, but hopefully it is helpful.